On the field of the 2008 Olympic Games, basketball teams from various countries were lost in contemplation. Spain. Fuck. Even if it's the US team, the Chinese team is so difficult to play. African brothers sending love. Oh my god, the Chinese team is constantly working in the air above us. US team. How can there be so many talented players besides Yao Ming among the yellow race? Who exactly is the dream team? A basketball fan painfully watched as the Chinese men's basketball team in the post-Yi Jianlian era struggled and was selected by the Super League system to travel back to 2002. Let's see if he can stir up the storm and establish his own Super League. Group ID 685644396, for exchange and learning together, PS. A novice, creating while searching for information. If there are any errors, please help correct them. Thank you. Keywords of the novel. Basketball Storm without pop-ups, Basketball Storm TXT complete collection download, Basketball Storm latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Familiar routines. Reborn. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Familiar routines. Reborn. The Chinese team missed the Olympics for the first time. This was Chen Xinglian's first reaction when he saw the men's basketball team losing to Poland in his university dormitory. There were no classes today, so Chen Xinglian lay in his dormitory and watched the group stage match between China and Poland in the Basketball World Cup. So Xiaochen saw the heartbreaking scene that all Chinese fans saw. Huaxia lost the game against Poland 76.79, losing the most important game. You should know that Venezuela is an opponent that China has never been able to defeat, with one of the few matchups in which China has lost all. That is to say, it is very likely that Huaxia will not be able to advance to the group stage. To be honest, as a patriotic basketball fan, I feel very uncomfortable inside. But who should be blamed? Blame Zhou Qi, blame his sideline ball. Or blame Li Nan, blame his tactics. Or blame all members of the Chinese team. On the contrary, Chen Xinglian did not, like others, choose to go find the scapegoat after the loss of the Huaxia team. He believes that no one should be blamed, and today's outcome is completely the result of the country's erroneous basketball philosophy over the past 20 years. From beginning to end, Chinese basketball is not very strong. The reason why it gives people the illusion is that the individual strength of the senior generation of Yao Ming, Yi Jianlian, and Wang Zhizhi is regarded as the overall strength of Chinese basketball. When the tide recedes, I know who is swimming naked. Accusing players who work hard on the field blindly is like insulting the leading player on the field after a neighboring country loses the World Cup. 10,000 steps back, Zhou Qi has no ability, but being selected for the national team only indicates that the talent gap in China's basketball system is severe. Chen Xinglian knows that Huaxia will have a long way to go in the rise of basketball. Speaking of which, it's good. At least the basketball league is gradually getting back on track, and the basketball league led by Yao Ming has shown us hope. It's always better than football, isn't it? Fortunately, brother is not a football fan. They can support other teams on the world stage without any burden. After all, there was never a Chinese team in the World Cup. Chen Xinglian suddenly felt a little relieved. At this moment, the space directly above the dormitory is constantly twisting, forming a crack. Sleeping slot, what's going on? Is there a bug in World OL? Chen Xinglian clearly noticed this anomaly. Before he could savor it, he was sucked in by a tremendous force. Chen Xinglian found himself in a twisted space-time similar to that of Ultraman, where the protagonist appeared after his death. Suddenly panicked, after all, no one would have thought of being selected by the M78 Nebula to become an Ultraman warrior. I didn't expect you to be as rational among the fans. It's good, it's good. A strong third-rate sci-fi movie-style electronic sound came, without the kind of flat tongue sound. Who are you? I am the future Chinese football fan, the electronic voice answered the question. This gave Chen Xinglian a headache because he, as an ordinary person, could no longer understand the situation. The electronic voice continued to sound, "I have a question for you. How do you think Chinese basketball should be saved?" Although Chen Xinglian was afraid, he answered honestly in order not to provoke the other party. This is a systematic project that cannot be solved by just a few players. Oh. This answer is very general. What kind of system is it? That's a multi-level league, high-quality supporting industries, youth training, and a broad public foundation. Chen Xinglian became more and more enthusiastic as he spoke, forgetting that he was in danger. In fact, these questions are not only something I can say, but also something that basketball fans can say. As long as we do a good job in our own league, more and more young talents will naturally emerge when the time comes. Why worry about the decline of Chinese basketball? The electronic voice fell silent before answering for a while. Boy, I have a chance to give you as a gift. Help me travel to parallel time and space in China in 2002. I will give you a system of future products, and you only have one purpose, that is to revitalize our basketball. Chen Xinglian was stunned. After all, his parents were still alive and his life was happy in this time and space. It is still impossible for him to suddenly say that he will never see his family here. Chen Xinglian thought to himself that if he didn't succeed, he wouldn't be able to come back, and he wasn't very willing. If you help me realize my dream, I will give you a reward when I come back. Obviously, this future fan has a psychological connection. Chen Xinglian knew that the other party was talking about this, and he couldn't do anything about it himself. Let me publish the first task first. Please travel back to the time and space of 2002, reward. Become the second leader of the Basketball Association. At this point, the electronic voice transformed into a normal human voice and joked, "It doesn't seem like your system stream novel, duh." Chen Xinglian roast. What a ghost. Before he could finish speaking, a huge force from behind sucked him away. Winter 2002. In a high-end hotel room, Chen Xinglian got up at 8 o'clock and briefly washed up. After washing up, Chen Xinglian began to change clothes. He specially put on his most handsome suit and tie today. The combed back makes Chen Xinglian look like an elite person. However, nowadays Chen Xinglian is indeed an elite figure. Today he is going to attend the most important interview in his life in a new era. Employment of basket management. Speaking of which, the mysterious person originally planned to let Chen Xinglian travel directly until 2002, but many things would be difficult to get through if he had to wear it hard. Finally, Chen Xinglian traveled back to the year 91. In the year 91, which is the time when Chen Xinglian went to university in parallel time and space, the system helped Chen Xinglian obtain an admission letter from Ivy League University. After graduating from graduate school, Chen Xinglian entered the NBA, and with the help of his education and system, within 2 years, he became a moderate middle-level manager in the NBA. This extraordinary life experience has made Chen Xinglian go from being a mere internet celebrity to someone who can truly bring help to Chinese basketball. In the end, Chen Xinglian's performance in the NBA caught the attention of basketball players far away in China. Li Jianlian, the basketball director who rose to power earlier than the original time and space, is a practitioner who dreams of commercializing the CBA into a top-tier basketball league. But due to the lack of such talent in my hands, I discovered through systematic intervention that there is actually a Chinese person in the middle management of the NBA. Li Jianlian, who had developed a love for talent, contacted Chen Xinglian. The two sides immediately hit it off, and in the end, Chen Xinglian returned to Huaxia to participate in the basketball management interview. After a successful interview, he will participate in basketball development and construction as an advisor to the Basketball Association. Looking at myself in the bathroom mirror, a more mature face appeared before my eyes. The setting of 29 years old makes me lose my immaturity and appear more mature. I graduated with a master's degree from an Ivy League prestigious school and worked at an NBA company for over 3 years. In the department under the CEO's office, I was responsible for managing sports events and can be considered a middle-level leader. Basically, I have a slight understanding of everything. Obviously, for the newly established CBA, it can be said that they are senior talents. After all, a group of leaders from the Basketball Association are also confused about the organization and operation of commercial leagues, so they naturally invited Yi Jianlian to return to China. Wearing a suit, I went downstairs with the plan of several suggestions on the construction of the Chinese basketball system that Yi Jianlian had spent a long time writing before returning to China. A black Magotan car stopped at the hotel entrance, and a young man saw Yi Jianlian and took the initiative to welcome him. Politely, he said, "It's Mr. Yi Jianlian. I'm in charge of reception today, just call me Xiao Wang." Yi Jianlian politely responded to him and got into a black luxury car. "Director Li is looking forward to you very much. He urged us to come and pick you up early this morning." Yi Jianlian also made a few polite remarks. Li Yanwei became the director of basketball management 1 year earlier than his current time and space. This is a good thing for Yi Jianlian, as enlightened leaders focus more on reform and their own plans are more conducive to implementation. End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Conversations. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Conversations. The black luxury car soon stopped in front of the Basketball Association office building, and Yi Jianlian took a deep breath. The show has officially begun, and the most crucial step for me to travel through time and space to come here is related to my future and whether I can go back, as well as whether I can save Chinese basketball. Entering the office building, I arrived at the entrance of Li Yanwei's office. Yi Jianlian saw an old man lying on his desk, looking at the plan that the system had previously handed over. It wasn't until Assistant Xiao Wang knocked on the door that Director Li was able to pull back reality from his contemplation of the plan. Seeing the young man next to the assistant, Director Li immediately smiled on his face. Leaving the seat and walking over, he shook hands with Yi Jianlian eagerly. "Comrade Yi Jianlian. Looking forward to the stars and the moon has brought us high-level talents in the NBA." Yi Jianlian blushed as he listened to his words, but the people in the system came with a friendly buff, so they didn't feel too nervous. "Just call me Xiao Chen. If you haven't achieved anything, you're not a high-level talent. You're just making a living in the ugly country. Humility, humility. Then I won't hesitate to call you Xiao Chen. Comrade Xiao Chen, don't just stand, sit." Today is considered an informal meeting with the Basketball Association, and only Li Yanwei will receive him. After his identity is confirmed, he will meet with various officials in the basketball management. Li Yanwei wants to confirm whether Yi Jianlian really has something, which can be considered an interview test. However, the business plan prepared by the system has basically confirmed with Director Li that Yi Jianlian is the assistance needed by the Basketball Association. Basically, today's topic won't be too tense. With a richer future knowledge reserve than in 2002, Yi Jianlian is naturally not lacking. "Xiao Chen, what is the difference between our Jia A League, early name of CBA, and NBA?" To be honest, this question is really hard to answer. With Yao Ming about to land in the NBA, coupled with the fact that there are already many people playing in the NBA in China, basketball fans and leadership across the country have a misconception that our MVP has the ability to adapt to the NBA. It wasn't until Zhou Qi's draft failed later that he woke everyone up. Yi Jianlian was naturally not polite and did not intend to leave any illusions for the basketeers. He said, "Director Li, to put it bluntly, in fact, our league level may only reach the top NCAA 64 level, which is still under the condition of having foreign players." Li Yanwei naturally knew what the NCAA league was, but he didn't expect the other team to speak up mercilessly. "Director Li, now NCAA is the talent pool of the NBA, which includes talented and outstanding players. For example, Michael Reed currently plays for the Bucks, averaging 15.1 points per game in the regular season. But did you know? In the 2000 draft, he only ranked 14th in the second round. In other words, there were 43 players who were better than him that year. The most crucial thing is that NBA management speculates that the 2000 draft may have been the worst. Chen Xinglian gave various examples to make Li Jianwei more aware of his own value through various differences. One example of this is the nightmare of accumulating players in the league, who couldn't play in the NBA just because of their irregular heartbeat. Li Jianwei adjusted his mindset after listening to Chen Xinglian's deception. Naturally, he also asked anxiously, "Xiao Chen, what are you planning to do next?" "My ultimate goal is to expand the basketball population and improve the domestic basketball level. With more people, there will naturally be more talents available. We are a country with a population of over 1 billion, and we can always select outstanding talents. Of course, to increase the basketball population, it is natural to enhance our league level, make us ordinary people want to watch basketball, love basketball, and finally give our children basketball." Li Jianwei had long known about his series of plans. Among them is the commercialization of the league. In fact, regarding marketization, the leadership and senior management are not so resistant. Moreover, in the 2002 league, there was only Bai, the military basketball team, left, so there was naturally no resistance. Commercialization of leagues, allowing leagues to be handed over to the market and determined by the market. Chen Xinglian boldly spoke of his plan. Li Jianwei knew that Chen Xinglian would do this. After all, he came from the NBA and naturally wanted to commercialize the league. He was also mentally prepared before bringing him in. "Xiao Chen, but you should know that the most important thing is our results on the international stage. Without results, we cannot talk about the future. The results outside are not good," not to mention Chen Xinglian, an outsider. "I'm afraid he's also at an end." With the support of the system, Chen Xinglian naturally has confidence, and coupled with his Asian basketball level, he is more confident in achieving results. "Don't worry, the overall level of Asian basketball is not as good as ours. As long as our players correct their training methods, I can guarantee that at least in this pond of Asia, they can still turn the tables. It's quite difficult on the international stage, and as far as I know, the basketball level of European countries is gradually getting on the right track. Even ugly countries' basketball cannot be said to be guaranteed for them." Li Jianwei can't roast after hearing this. "You praised ugly basketball so much just now, and now you step on them again." "Director Li, I'm not joking. I bet the dream team at this year's World Championships will definitely fail." This statement startled Li Jianwei. It was the dream team, and Li Jianwei's impression still lingered on Jordan's magnificent dream team. Don't try to conquer the already developed European basketball in singles without tactics. It's no use who came today, as Chen Xinglian said. Li Jianwei is currently unable to verify the authenticity, but he has finally implemented the decision to introduce Chen Xinglian. Later, Li Jianwei met with Chen Xinglian and various department heads. It should be noted that at that time, the Chinese people were a bit superstitious that foreign monks could recite scriptures. Chen Xinglian, a fake foreign monk, was not far behind, and with the occasional emergence of a few professional terms and phrases, various officials were stunned. "After meeting with the Basketeers and officially announcing it later, I officially took office. However, the time will not be too long. Considering that the Chinese New Year has just passed, Chen Xinglian plans to gather with his family in this time and space, while also organizing his development ideas and understanding the magic of the system." Sitting on the Passat sedan, I only heard a beep, and the system in my mind remembered it again. Congratulations to the host for completing the task and distributing rewards. Officially unlocking the system interface. A control panel appeared in his mind, and Chen Xinglian was naturally curious. However, upon seeing it, only the task panel appeared, and the other panels had not been unlocked yet. What most concerned Chen Xinglian was the panel with the player card pool written on it. It seems that the development of things will become increasingly interesting. Returning to the hotel, Chen Xinglian plans to have a good understanding of the system. System, are you AI? Yes, I am from the future of artificial intelligence, codenamed Xiaolan. The voice in my mind recalled Chen Xinglian became interested. It seems that this system is not so rigid, and he himself is not considered boring. So he was curious and said, can you change the sound, such as the 10 yuan sound? Obviously, the system doesn't have its own bird, but changing the name is still possible, right? Otherwise, you can just call me boss in the future, it will make me feel better. The system hesitated for a moment and said, this can have. I don't want to write too much about things within the system. I have gone through them chapter by chapter, but my writing style is not very good, and I may not have a good understanding of the system. Therefore, there may be some loopholes in the text. Let's treat it as a feature of different time and space. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Officially appointed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Officially appointed. Shortly thereafter, the official announcement was also issued. Chen Xinglian will participate in the management of basketball as a basketball management consultant and vice president of the Basketball Association. Chen Xinglian himself is also very satisfied with this identity. Shortly thereafter, CBA company was also officially established, which shocked many people in the industry. Everyone feels that basketball in China is going to change. Of course, the CBA company is still just a shell, and specific matters will only be decided after Chen Xinglian takes office. After discussion, it has been basically determined that they are responsible for the men's basketball league, college student league, and mass basketball talent cultivation. Drip. Congratulations to the boss for completing the task and receiving rewards. Player card pool panel unlocked. When he arrived, Chen Xinglian sat on the plane home, and the message that popped up in the system made him happy for a long time. The player card pool system explains that in the future, Chen Xinglian can obtain card drawing opportunities through various means, drawing real player talent cards, and randomly or at Chen Xinglian's own decision, demoting them to Chinese basketball young talents, greatly increasing their talent limit. These talents include physical talent, technical talent, consciousness talent, etc. Especially in terms of physical talent, which means that the system can subtly modify the physical conditions of the selected object. System, for example, if a young person has Leonard's physical talent, will his palm length reach 24.7 centimeters? That's right, boss. Sleeping slot. Is it so powerful? This is really incredible. Chen Xinglian is extremely happy. Just thinking about this bug, there will be opportunities for the Chinese version of Kobe, the Chinese version of James, and the Chinese version of Alphabet Brother in the future. Our Chinese fans can now see players soaring and fleeing in their own leagues. Boss, new task. Please quickly establish the CBA organizational structure. Task reward. Unlock the mall. Chen Xinglian looked confused. What can I buy in this mall? Boss, do you need to improve your basketball skills in China in the future and get various trainers and nutritionists? Unlocking this panel can accelerate the boss's task progress. Chen Xinglian thinks it is indeed a good thing. Back home, Chen Xinglian was a little confused when he looked at his parents in the same time and space. The ethics involved left Chen Xinglian at a loss. But the familiar feeling still arrived. For Chen Xinglian's return to work, his parents definitely hold a welcoming attitude. The United States is too far away, and he can't see his son a few times a year. The Chen family is from Xidong City, Fujian Province, an ordinary family, but they gave birth to Chen Xinglian, a talented student who was once proud in the village. I came back this time to build Chinese basketball, but it made Chen's parents proud. Making big money in the United States is no match for making contributions in one's hometown, and this obsession rooted in the people of Fujian Province is well reflected in the Chen family. That night, the father and son set up a table of small drinks, ordered some seasoning, and started eating. Chen Xinglian also boasted to his parents. Due to the tight schedule, Chen Xinglian flew away in a few days. Before leaving, leave all the money earned by the original owner in the United States to Chen's parents, leaving only a little for their own living expenses. I left Fujian province by plane and went to the capital. Lan Guan ultimately appointed Chen Xinglian as the general manager of CBA Company, fully responsible for the operation of CBA Company. This appointment letter can be considered as allowing Chen Xinglian to work freely. The first thing I do is to build the company structure. Finally, the following departments were discussed and established. General Manager's Office, League Department, Marketing Department, Players Department, Service Department, Media Technology Department, Innovation Research and Development Department, Youth Training Department, and a board of directors similar to the NBA was designed, with the basketball management and team owners sitting in charge. Despite this, in order to prevent the team's influence from interfering with the operation of the league in the future, Chen Xinglian still passed a series of agreements to restrict the rights of team owners. The league department is fully responsible for the CBA and college league, and as for the secondary league, NBL Chen Xinglian has given up this jurisdiction due to considerations. The league department can be said to be the core department of CBA. The Innovation and Research Department refers to the use of systems to monetize certain technologies in the future, where there can be an excuse to avoid suspicion. The full name of the Youth Training Department is the Youth Basketball Training Plan Department, which will be collected and placed in this department in the future. This department is also under the attention of Chen Xinglian. The selection of department heads is mostly recommended by the basket manager. Chen Xinglian sat in the office without the initial excitement. Because we are about to face a series of difficulties, the biggest of which is the issue of money. This season is still ongoing, and overall, after the meeting, everyone feels that major changes need to be officially started after the end of the 01-02 season. So this season, we can only do some minor repairs, mainly focusing on the reform of the college league and the preparation of the draft. Drip. Congratulations to the boss for completing the task reward. Draw 10C. Level star talent cards. Star's critical hit rate is 10%. Here we go. Is it so fierce? Is it enough so soon? For people born in Fujian province, Chen Xinglian will not casually withdraw these cards. I have to go back to take a shower and change clothes at night before extracting. After all, I may be an African. According to the system introduction, the talents that C.level cards can obtain are not too rare, and the critical hit rate is too low. Afterwards, there will be B, A, S, and SS cards. I always feel that this system is not so serious. Just as Chen Xinglian was daydreaming there, Xiao Wang, who had become Chen Xinglian's secretary, officially appeared. Mr. Chen, the meeting with various team owners has been confirmed and can be held next Monday. The establishment of a new company naturally requires meeting with the team owner. After all, whether the league can hold up or not depends on them. Xiao Wang, thank you for your hard work. Send away Secretary Wang, and now Chen Xinglian is thinking about the next steps. In fact, he already has a preliminary plan, which Chen Xinglian shamelessly refers to as a package of money-making plans. I don't have much interest in following any GP love stories right now, he just wants to make money. Without money, he and his league, as well as the employees, can only collectively drink on the streets. This plan is mainly divided into several methods. The first one is to find advertising endorsements. LED boards on the sidelines, network broadcasting, and wooden flooring. Chen Xinglian knew that readers would roast about an insurance advertisement on the wooden floor. Please, this is CBA, not NBA, and we also want a nice logo. The key is that we don't have any money. Without the wooden floor logo of the wealthy father, who can give you money? You still need to be realistic in your life. Wait until the profit starts in the future, then remove the middle advertisement. Chen Xinglian guarantees that the second method is ticket revenue. However, Chen Xinglian really has a way to deal with seemingly unreliable methods. The third method is peripheral revenue. This part may have been weaker in the early stage. After all, CBA is not yet well known who will buy your peripheral products. At present, what I can do is to create a stadium atmosphere. As for how to create it, I still need to communicate with the team owner before making a decision. Of course, soon he will have an income, and the person who gives the money, Chen Xinglian, guarantees that most people will not think of it. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. African Time. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Chapter 4 African Time. Chen Xinglian was busy until 8 p.m. before leaving work and returning to his dormitory. After all, the new company has many things to do, and many of them need to be determined through meetings. Someone asked why not buy a house. Of course I bought it. After all, the housing prices in the capital are so cheap now, and my income in the United States is so high, I can still afford to buy a house. However, the house needs renovation and can only be rented at this stage. Thinking about the past, I couldn't even dream of having a house in the capital. I didn't expect it to happen now. This world is really magical, boss. Don't forget, you have to draw cards tonight. Chen Xinglian naturally won't forget, but before that, he needs to take a shower. System, you said you don't know how to operate in the dark, right? System. Chen Xing thought for a moment and realized that they really wanted to operate in secret, and he himself was unaware of it. Forget it, why bother asking? After washing up, Chen Xinglian opened the system panel and saw 10 cards in the card pool. It's too exciting to smoke all at once, it's not his style. Let's take a picture first. I saw a blue card on the panel thrown into the card pool and constantly emitting light. Chen Xinglian widened his eyes and came out. Coming out. Jumped out a card. Player name. Wu Tianda. Age. 22. Registered residence. Hankou City, Hubei Province. Team. Hubei University of Science and Technology. Location. SF height. 1.93 m. Weight. 80 kg. Arm span 1.98 m. Jumping in place. 80 cm. Approach and take. Off. 91 cm. Shooting. 48 3 points. 47 ball control. 39 defense. 52 comprehensive score. 49, 74, template. Matthew Dravidova. Comment. Good defense, more than enough for CBA in Asian leagues. And can demonstrate good attacking ability in lower level leagues. Chen Xinglian was quite surprised that he didn't lose money this time. You should know, this is at least from the NBA. He was already prepared that the players came from that niche place, such as PBA. Chen Xinglian doesn't have much impression of him. It can only be said that the most memorable story is between him and James. But to be honest, their defensive strength is still quite good. For the current CBA, this is still commendable. Chen Xing thought for a moment and said, System, let me show all 9 players on the Cuba field. As for why, it's very simple. The college league and draft are still too weak compared to youth training in various provinces. He needs these players to increase the quality of the draft and thus increase the team's willingness to use draft players. Looking back at the awkward 15-year draft in time and space, only one player was selected, and other teams gave up their draft rights. And that player only left 2 points and 1 board of data in the end. Pulling back from his thoughts to reality and seeing the good results, Chen Xinglian felt that he wasn't that dark either. Next picture. The card pool once again threw in a card, following the same steps as before. Player name. Lin and age. 22. Registered residence. HF City, Huizhou Province. Team. Capital Sports University. Location. PG/SF height. 1.91 m. Weight. 75 kg. Arm span 1.97 m. Jumping in place. 67 cm. Approach and take. Off. 84 centimeters shooting. 53 points. 43 defense. 38 ball control. 45 comprehensive value. 48, 71, template. Guailuan comment. A ball control expert with a big heart needs to regulate emotions on the field, avoid overheating, and have an unlimited future. Not bad. Chen Xinglian has found that he can draw good player templates for both of his first two cards, which is definitely good for the current CBA. Can you imagine that point guards at the beginning of the new century could only dribble back and forth? As for the crotch dribbling that fans wanted, the crossover was amazing. That's because you've been overthinking it. The players said they didn't teach it in school Omega, and when faced with pressure, I only dribble the ball to one side, not even know how to make a quick stop and change hands behind the back, and then move it out of the field, so this draw was not a loss. Moreover, Chen Xinglian plans to make the league lean towards a combination of internal and external attacking methods, and the point guard needs to have offensive ability. Boss, isn't it good? These players are all available in the current CBA and international competitions, especially Wu Tianda and Linan. The main point guards of the national team at this stage are impressive. Elegance. Chen Xinglian said it's still okay. Then draw another one. Player name. Li Gang. Age. 22. Position. Shooting guard. Height. 1.85 m. Arm span. 1.98 m. Weight. 79 kilograms. Jumping in place. Run up and take off. Shooting. 43 points. 41 defense. 35 ball control. 43 comprehensive score. 42, 61, template. Fong Shua comment. A qualified CBA star at the current stage, the first choice outside of the team's foreign players. Player name. Template. None evaluation. Qualified CBA substitute or NBL starter. Chen Xinglian Meng, is there still this operation? That's right, boss, don't think about it. You're really a non-chieftain. Chen Xinglian is a bit happy, isn't that right? Why do I think it's pretty good? To be honest, I really made a profit from this wave, not a loss, and it's not a more advanced league. It's enough. Chen Xinglian bet on something big. System, give me all the draws, don't keep any. Player name. Template. None comprehensive score. 35, 48, comment. Can become a qualified starting player or sixth man in the future. Player name. Template. None comprehensive score. 35, 43, comment. A good substitute and NBL starter template. None comment. Qualified starting player or sixth man. The word count is no longer sufficient. Chen Xinglian finally knows what it feels like to be in a world of ice and fire. I always feel like I have a feather stuck in my head, isn't that right? So, you can give this all. If we keep going like this, we'll need KBL. After giving KBL, we'll give PBA. There's nothing more to give in the end. Boss, you've changed. That's not what you said earlier. The system sees Chen Xinglian as such a pitfall, comforted. Boss, this time it matches your needs. Think calmly, isn't this what you want? The most important thing now is to make the league recognize the draft, otherwise the best players will only be buried. That's right, first make the draft famous, let's talk about the rest. Chen Xinglian looked at the overall quality of players such as Wu Tianda and Linan, and felt very satisfied. He was able to grow up like this in college, which reduced a lot of trouble for coming to the CBA in the future. Chen Xinglian saw these and already had a way of operating in his heart. DD task description. Successfully convene the first board meeting of the company. Task reward. Unlock the mall panel, 1A. Level star card, 2B. Level star cards, and 3C. Level star cards. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Meetings and Mysteries. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5 Meetings and Mysteries. On the day of the meeting, the owners of various teams gathered together, and the first CBA Council was preparing to be held. In 2002, there were only 13 teams in CBA, including the Magic City Dongfang team, Bai team, Jilin Jianlian team, Ludong Kingston team, Capital Shugang team, Jiangsu and Zhejiang Wanma team, Guangdong Hongyuan team, Sina Lion team, Jiangnan Nangang team, Chang'an Dongxing team, Liaodong Panpan team, Capital Aoshan team, and Pengcheng Runshuanikang team. At this time, the CBA was not yet called the CBA, but rather the Jia League, with promotion and relegation, rather than the later admission system. This system was also a major feature of the time, with a strong characteristic of learning football leagues. Many famous teams are still hovering in the A and B leagues, such as Beikong and Yuqing Xianglong. In 2014 in the conference room, the team owner has arrived one after another. Before the meeting started, each boss gathered in their own small circle to chat. On this day, change is inevitable, and suddenly a CBA company emerged. The owner of the Magic City Eastern team sighed. I heard that the basketball team poached someone from the NBA and said they want to build China's own commercial league. The owner of the Sina Lion team also shared the information they knew. The NBA system may not necessarily be suitable for our national conditions. Come on, what's the use of changing things? This champion is probably still from your Sharks team. Everyone envies you for having a genius like Yao Ming. The owner of the Eastern team doesn't look that good. Recently, due to the incident with Yao Ming, my heart and mind have become restless. Although the team owners were all skeptical there isn't much rejection at all. After all, the commercialization of the league will ultimately benefit these private business owners. It's just unclear how determined the basketeers are to push forward. As insiders are aware of the potential obstacles, it can be said that this commercialization is not very promising. The leader of the Bai team appeared calm, but as the center of the storm, he didn't have much reaction. Nowadays, the wave of foreign aid is constantly impacting Bai, a team with a long history in glory. At the beginning of the Jia League, more than half of the teams had military backgrounds, but as they developed, now there is only the unique talent of August 1st. Even in the future, the Bai men's and women's basketball teams have announced that they will no longer participate in the CBA League, officially declaring that military teams have completely bid farewell to the CBA stage. To be honest, as a Chinese basketball fan, Chen Xinglian has feelings for August 1st. But now as the head of the league, I have to take the same path as another time and space. Speaking of which, the biggest highlight of this year is the showdown between August 1st and Magic City, as well as the confrontation between Yao Ming and Lu Yudong. This is something that fans will still be talking about for 20 years at this point. All team owners stopped talking. Because a group of CBA leaders including Li Yanwei and Chen Xinglian rushed into the entrance. Everyone present is dressed in suits and shoes. Even Chen Xinglian, who didn't know how to tie a tie before, rushed to learn how to tie a blue tie for himself today. The team owners stood up one after another to signal the situation. Li Yanwei, with both hands down, also gestured for everyone to sit down. Why are everyone talking so lively? Li Yanwei asked with a smile. Li Lao, look at this sudden change, everyone has become members of the CBA Council, which can make us feel proud. The owner of the Sina Lion team catered to it. I bought a set of Versace today to make it look impressive. Is that right? By the way, today, I would like to introduce to you the newly appointed general manager of CBA Company, Chen Xinglian. A senior talent who previously worked in league operations in the NBA. This time returning to China will lead everyone and the Chinese league towards glory. Xinglian would like to introduce it to everyone. Chen Xinglian stood up to signal to the surroundings, and there were also grand applause from the surroundings. Li Yanwei also introduced various team owners to Chen Xinglian. It can be considered as a warm-up for the meeting. Among them, the boss of Aoshan made Chen Xinglian stand aside. In his past life, he had a profound impact on the team that was hovering in the ABA League. Sun Yu was even the first Chinese player to become the best team in a foreign league. Of course, besides joking, Chen Xinglian was more respectful and regretful. Nowadays, the league is being established and requires the support of a team owner. Obviously, Chen Xinglian is the owner of the Aoshan team. After all, the boss of Aoshan had a rare vision of standing up and looking at the world in the early days, and was able to find high-level coaches from Europe and North America for young players. As for wandering outside all the time afterwards, it's also a pity. However, today's meeting did not have much expectation. Because many teams on the field will soon face dissolution issues. For example, the Sina Lions announced their withdrawal from the CBA in 2003 due to significant financial issues and rumors of unfair referees. The meeting mainly announced the company's articles of association, some important matters, and signed contracts, as part of the management rights of the team will be incorporated into the CBA company. These bosses naturally have little opposition to this behavior of switching from left to right. The meeting decided to maintain the status quo for the 01-02 season, but many new policies will be adopted for the new season. For example, in order to attract audiences, the league will take a series of measures, namely, promoting the League Atmosphere Plan 1.0. This includes the improvement of venue facilities. Although it is not yet possible to achieve a large stadium like the NBA that can accommodate 40,000 people, at least the stadium needs to be renovated to look better, fully reflecting the CBA culture and basketball atmosphere. For example, lighting projects, adding LED advertising spaces. Small sports venues should be small and exquisite. These measures were also anticipated by various bosses, but there was one that surprised them. Why is this team changing its name? I think our team's name, South China Tigers, is quite good. Chen Xinglian said, in order to conform to the local cultural characteristics, and you don't think our league teams are either dragons, tigers, lions, and so on. Those who don't know think this is a zoo from Africa. Chen Xinglian continued, a new team name, logo, and team culture need to be quickly established to fully resonate with local residents. After explaining, the owners of each team also expressed their support and changed their names. Regarding the setting of salary caps, new player contracts have also been announced. This strong NBA style has also opened the eyes of team owners. I didn't expect Mr. Chen to have so many tricks. However, not everything can make Chen Xinglian's wish come true. For example, player management. Originally, Chen Xinglian intended to emulate the NBA, but Director Li insisted that it all be placed under the unified management of the player department. Obviously, it's impossible for you to let the Basketeers go of this matter. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Draft Conference. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 Draft Conference. Chen Xinglian paused when he saw the next topic. Because this is the theme that Chen Xinglian values the most today. Everyone, how to keep the league fresh and constantly replenish its blood. After research, it has been decided to adopt a multi-channel selection system with dual tracks of youth training and draft. The league aims to ensure. Now, the conference room becomes lively. The NBA draft was copied in, but not all of it was copied, and the youth academy didn't give up at all. As the person in charge of Liaodong Pan, who emerged from the youth training strong province, stood up to speak. Mr. Chen, perhaps you have just returned and are not very familiar with the selection of players in Huaxiao. Currently, all the good candidates are in the team, and there are no good candidates to choose from among university players. Obviously, the person in charge of Pan in Liaodong made a reasonable statement, and as of now, it is indeed so. But who is Chen Xinglian? He is a man with a system. The college league hasn't started in minutes yet. Chen Xinglian laughed and said, everyone, who said that the draft is only for college players. Anyone who meets the conditions in society can participate in the draft, including but not limited to college players. Chen Xinglian stood up and paced by the window. I know that people are currently not optimistic about college students players, thinking that all the good candidates have been selected by the youth training team, and are unwilling to give college students a chance. But I don't think so. China is a country with a population of over 1 billion, and basketball talents are definitely not too few. It's not something that the existing youth training system can handle. After speaking, Chen Xinglian began to explain the benefits of university league players. In the future reform of university leagues, players will have more opportunities to compete and the competition will become more intense. Only the strong can continue to move forward. Through the layers of screening in provincial junior high school leagues, and national university leagues, I think the college players at that time will be a group of top players with rich competition experience, skills, and awareness. And it's not weaker than the youth training system. When everyone heard that the college league was about to start, they were also shocked. This transformation is also too thorough. Mr. Chen, your powerful dose of medicine has truly shocked me. The boss of Aushan had to sigh. Ladies and gentlemen, time waits for no one. Now that European powers have quietly risen, I know that everyone present is somewhat worried about the future. This concern is right, but if we don't change, I don't think we can handle Asia either. Both the basketeers and team owners were lost in thought. Chen Xinglian decided to play big. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't we make a bet? Let's treat it as a relaxing little game. How about that? After speaking, it caught everyone's attention. This year's World Championships will be held in Indiana, USA, where the US will send the dream team to compete against countries around the world. But I'm not optimistic about them. I think the United States will suffer a disastrous defeat this time. It's very likely that we won't make it to the top 4. After speaking, everyone's faces changed. As industry insiders, we all understand the strength of Dream Team. How could such a magnificent lineup fail or suffer a disastrous defeat, unable to even advance to the semifinals? The bet is that if I'm right, please help me in the future and support reform more. If I fail, I will abandon this CBA draft. Li Yanwei frowned uncontrollably. He had heard Chen Xinglian mention this before, and now he is taking a gamble, indicating that he has Chen Xinglian's confidence. But this is a bit childish. No team owner dares to agree to this kind of bet. After all, if they agree, they won't be able to make it in the CBA. However, if Chen Xinglian's prediction is wrong in the future, he may not be able to continue implementing the subsequent reforms. This kind of domineering side leakage and crazy gambler's appearance really makes bosses pay attention to this somewhat young general manager. As for how to obtain the draft rights in the draft conference and how to obtain higher-ranking draft rights, there are detailed explanations. I won't go into detail here. The next topic is about extending the number of league matches, as the current number of league matches is too eye-catching. In order for players to have better growth, based on the existing team, they will be divided into the North and South regions. North District. Liaodong Panpan Team, Capital Aushan Team, Jilin Jiliang Team, Ludong Kingston Team, Capital Shugang Team, Chang'an Dongxing Team Southern District. Magic City Eastern Team, Guangdong East and South China Tigers, Zhejiang Wanma Team, Bai Team, Sina Lion Team, Su Southeast Steel Team, Pengcheng Runshuan Team. And using a home and away system, each team plays 4 games in the same zone and 3 games in different zones. According to the current team, the southern team needs to play at least 42 games, while the northern team needs to play 38 games. Just as the southern teams were about to protest, Chen Xinglian was already prepared and directly told them that there would be new teams joining next season, which would smooth out the phenomenon of unequal numbers of matches between the North and South. The meeting lasted all morning, and the main framework and specific reform topics were determined. Let CBA start moving towards the right track. The team owner has no objection to increasing the number of matches, and it's not them playing, it's not them who are tired. And as the number of matches increases, the ticket money will also increase accordingly. Why not? Regarding how to cope with international competitions, Yi Jianlian stated that there will be a corresponding off-season to cope with it. As for the long training sessions, Yi Jianlian stated that they must be cancelled. As for how to ensure the results, Yi Jianlian guarantees that there is no problem, and the basketball team will not say anything more. We can't call others over either, can we? To take a step back, if there is a problem, someone is responsible, and they have no objection. The meeting has ended, and in the afternoon, there will be a report on the development status of each team. On this issue, Yi Jianlian is a headache. At present, the financial situation of each team is obviously not very good, and some measures must be taken to alleviate financial difficulties this season. Otherwise, teams will gradually disband like in the original time and space, which Yi Jianlian does not want to see. In the evening, the Chinese dining culture was inevitable, and the company organized a banquet in a hotel. As the general manager, Yi Jianlian couldn't help but drink alcohol, while Yi Jianlian, who was not strong enough to drink, could only barely cope. So I found an excuse to go out and smoke a cigarette slowly. As he was mesmerized by the scenery outside the hotel, the boss of Officialdom leaned over. Yi Jianlian also withdrew his thoughts and began to talk to the boss of Officialdom. Boss Officialdom is very curious about this young man. What kind of magic is there that makes him bear such an important responsibility? Yi Jianlian really wants to take this opportunity to establish a good relationship with the boss of Officialdom. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Shocking. Got a spicy man. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Shocking. Got a spicy man. Mr. Li, are you also here to blow some wind? Li Su from the auspicious team walked over and smiled. I can't drink from them. Come out and take a break. It seems that Mr. Chen is also like me. Yi Jianlian smiled helplessly and said, after staying in the United States for a long time, I'm still not used to this ergotu. If I drink it again, I'm afraid I won't be able to work tomorrow. Mr. Chen is truly young and capable of becoming the head of the CBA. It seems that this is already the answer. The two of them were speaking polite words there. In the business world, language is nothing more than praising the other party, and then carefully analyzing the meaning in the other party's similarly convoluted language by processing the information they want to express in a roundabout manner. Although Yi Jianlian graduated not long ago, this talent seems to be innate. I had a conversation with Li Su. Listen to what Mr. Chen said this morning. Mr. Chen is very optimistic about the college league. Yi Jianlian replied, yes, it's not optimistic, but rather that there are already good talents emerging. The conversation that day surprised Li Su. Oh. Mr. Chen, do you still have any outstanding players among the college students you're interested in? Yes, there is already a list of great geniuses. Li Su is a bit skeptical. After all, he has been in this industry for too long and has learned about university leagues. What Yi Jianlian said is clearly something that can be achieved in the CBA. Mr. Li, are you available recently? Mr. Chen, what's wrong? Yi Jianlian. Mr. Li, I would like to invite you to watch a game. It's for the college league. Li Su understood Yi Jianlian's words, and he was also curious about what level of genius Yi Jianlian was referring to. What is the specific time? It depends on the situation, and if there is, it will depend on whether Mr. Li is available. Yi Jianlian is more casual, and he is not familiar with the schedule yet. Li Su agreed. The two of them started chatting about the development of the league, and Li Su also took this opportunity to express some of his views. Yi Jianlian naturally humbly listened to his suggestions. The two of them can be said to be very close, and there is a feeling of regret for meeting too late. As for what to ask the other party to do now, Yi Jianlian did not say. After all, I just got to know each other not long ago. After the dinner, the leadership of CBA bid farewell to the leaders of each team in stages. Yi Jianlian was also busy until very late before returning home. System, Is it there? I'm here, boss. Has the task been completed? After a while, the task interface popped up. Task description. Successfully convene the first board meeting of the company task reward. Unlock the mall panel, 1A.level star card, 2B.level star cards, and 3C.level star cards. Task completion status. Completed, rewards have been issued. After speaking, the panel with the words, mine, displayed information about the addition of items. This excites Chen Xinglian to death. The star card is currently the most needed by Chen Xinglian, especially the A.level card. It goes without saying that the players who are released are definitely NBA All-Star level players. The 2B.level cards are also ordinary starting or important substitute players in the NBA. These greatly enhance the strength of the Chinese men's basketball team. At the same time, it also increases the confidence of the draft. After reading the star card, Chen Xinglian was not in a hurry to open it. He was even more curious about what items could be purchased on the mall. So switch to the mall panel. This really opened Chen Xinglian's eyes, just like the shopping mall in the novel, with a wide variety of things. Star card, trainer card, nutritionist card, team doctor card, training card. Like the star card, it is divided into different levels. Chen Xinglian looked at the S.level star card and then looked at its price, which is worth 200,000 diamonds. I looked at the A.level star card again, worth 50,000 diamonds. Although it looks expensive, Chen Xinglian doesn't have much concept. So far, I haven't received any diamond rewards, so there is no standard to measure the difficulty of obtaining them. Chen Xinglian carefully evaluates what is currently needed and believes that training cards are more practical and can quickly improve the abilities of players. At present, except for Lin and Wu Tianda, who can become excellent instant players, others cannot adapt to the league. If you cannot improve your strength to meet the standards after the draft, it is obviously not very beneficial for the development of the draft. System: how to obtain diamonds. Boss, there are many methods. The main ones are doing tasks, checking in, recharging, and so on. Sign in. Chen Xinglian said that no one had told him from beginning to end that he could sign in. The system is a bit guilty. After all, the author has greatly forgotten to write. Is this something I can say? Congratulations to the boss for successfully unlocking the check.in system. Chen Xinglian's heart was filled with countless alpacas rushing past, and he lost so much together. What's even more despicable is that the system is equipped with a mute, and I can only afford to lose out on this mute. Chen Xinglian. System: I strongly demand a supplementary signature. System: rejected, cannot be re-signed. You're cheating. I'm concealing it. Chen Xinglian was a straightforward guy, not even hiding. Sign in first. Chen Xinglian stopped resisting. Then the sign-in reward popped up on the panel, ding. Congratulations boss, you have earned 500 diamonds. What can I buy with 500 diamonds? Chen Xinglian became curious and flipped through the mall, discovering that he could purchase 5 basic training cards. The price of a basic training card is only around 100 diamonds. It can enable players below A.level to undergo shorter training periods, with a relatively small improvement in strength, until the talent limit is reached. But there are also restrictions. The training card can only be used once every 6 months. After use, no training card can be used within 4 months, and it has no effect on A.level and above players. Furthermore, the intermediate training card requires 500 diamonds, which can provide players below grade A with longer training time and faster improvement in various abilities within 6 months, much better than the basic training card. Players above grade A can use it for shorter training time and slight strength improvement, and cannot use any training card for 4 months. In addition to comprehensive training cards, there are also targeted training cards that can significantly improve individual abilities. After looking at the items in the mall, Chen Xinglian resisted the urge to chop his hands and decided to draw the star card first before making a purchase. System, let's get started. Draw an A-level card directly. A real man is a jerk. A red football star card was thrown into the card pool like this, and it kept shining and flickering there. The card was presented to Chen Xinglian in no time. However, Chen Xinglian himself did not see it because he was covering his eyes with his hand. 3, 2, 1, go. Chen Xinglian put down his hands and studied the card for a while. Chen Xinglian exclaimed, "Good guy. Really good guy." Player name. Lu Guang, age 22 years old, registered residence. Longxi team. Shandong Agricultural University campus, team location. PF/C height. 1.98 m, weight 90 kg, arm span 2.02 meters, bounce in place 81 centimeters, run up bounce 99 centimeters, shooting 46 3 points 26 control 35 defense 55 comprehensive score 47 94 template. Jimmy Butler evaluation. An iron-blooded warrior, a tough guy who can never be defeated. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Consecutive Assault and Media Day. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Consecutive Assault and Media Day. Sleeping slot. Sleeping slot. Sleeping slot. Look what this is. What is this? Chen Xinglian couldn't believe it. He immediately drew his favorite NBA player template. If you want to describe Jimmy Butler, you may only need one word. That's hard. Netizens are talking about Butler's evaluation of the Timberwolves as the top 2 pick, with a feeling of envy and hatred towards him, making people feel that he is a player who shows effort but is limited by talent. Some people imagine that if Jimmy had a longer arm span, perhaps he would have achieved even greater success. System, you have directly selected the top scorer of this year's CBA draft, you have no choice. The system also poured a bucket of cold water on Chen Xinglian. Boss, haven't you noticed anything in common between them? This question stumps Chen Xinglian, who is still in his excitement period. Who knows what commonalities he has? Are they all Chinese? Boss, haven't you noticed that their current position in college is seriously inconsistent with their template? Yeah. Jimmy Butler has gone to play as a center forward in Cuba. At this point, Chen Xinglian finally understood the meaning of the system. Are you saying that with their current playing style and skills, they may not be able to adapt to the CBA, and may even make them uncomfortable, ultimately unable to unleash their talents? The system understands that Chen Xinglian knows what he means. Is there a way to correct their playing style and skills in the system? Boss, it's very simple. As long as you use the training card, you can automatically adjust their skills. Chen Xinglian understood. Good guy. Originally, waiting for me here was just to make me consume. I want to buy 5 basic training cards. After finishing speaking, I immediately went to the mall to place an order and purchased 5 basic training cards, spending all the remaining balance directly. System, come again. Throw these 2 B-level cards into the card pool. Chen Xinglian can't wait to see the next players. It didn't take long for it to jump out, and the displayed players surprised Chen Xinglian. My boy, player name. Zhang Gao, age 18 years old, registered residence. Sichuan Tianfu team. Sichuan Provincial Youth Team location. C height. 2.11 m, weight 87 kg, arm span 2.29 meters, bounce in place 69 centimeters, run up bounce 83 centimeters, shooting 35 3 points 27 ball control 29 defense 51 comprehensive score 40 84 template. Jabbar McKee evaluation. A talented and fierce man who can become the king of pancakes in the future, and strive to cultivate him to become an excellent defender. Player name. Deng Likun. Age. 25 years old. Registered residence. East Guangdong Team. Guangdong East AB Team. Location. C/PF. Height. 2.05 m. Weight. 90 kilograms. Arm span 2.02 meters. Bounce in place. 62 centimeters. Run-up bounce. 73 centimeters. Shooting. 54 3-points. 43 ball control. 27 defense. 26 comprehensive score. 39, 79, template. Duncan Robinson evaluation. Disappointed tall pitcher with no interior skills, abandoned by CBA, currently still playing in NBL overall. This B.level card did not bring any unexpected gains to Chen Xinglian. It can only be said that there was no loss. Looking at Deng Likun, who was already playing at NBL, Chen Xinglian suddenly became interested. Is internal technology not good? If it's like this, there's a reason to be abandoned. At this time, the CBA is still focusing on playing inside. This kind of insider likes to float outside and is naturally not favored by the team coach. Some people say roughly, why is there no problem? Please, their internal technical skills are very good. Chen Xinglian thought, if such a player adds his 3-point attribute in the release of new rules next season, it may also be a headache for all CBA teams. After final confirmation, the 5 basic training cards were decided to be used for Lin and Wu Tianda, Li Ji, and other players without templates. As for Lu Guang, Zhang Gao, and Deng Likun, Chen Xinglian plans to use intermediate or advanced talent cards for them later. Basic talent cards are too slow for their growth. After speaking, Chen Xinglian squandered his newly purchased basic training card. After using it, Chen Xinglian feels a pain in his own flesh. Butler, McGee, and Aaron Gua have all appeared, and the style of the CBA next season will become more and more beautiful. There are both dunks and free throws, as well as brilliant dribbling and flashy dribbling. This is the key to ensuring a stable fan base for a league. After all, only when the game is good, people are willing to spend money to come and watch. The day after the council meeting, CBA company organized a media conference and invited a group of media. Major newspapers, television stations, and even newly emerging website forums have sent representatives over. I want to understand the charm of this newly born CBA. Have you fully studied the NBA in the United States? Or is it a hype of changing the soup without changing the dressing? Today's media interview was attended by basketball management leaders and leaders of various CBA teams. When the media saw young Chen Xinglian on stage explaining the new CBA policies, a group of media reporters exclaimed in surprise. Everyone praised Chen Xinglian's youth. When they thought Chen Xinglian had a deep background, Li Yanwei introduced them to the young talent he had brought back from the NBA. This really makes everyone marvel at the dominance of the basket management in terms of personnel, which can be said to be an unconventional way of demoting talents. The announcement of CBA's new policies one by one has also made the media understand that the previous questions were completely unnecessary. This is truly a thorough reform. Whether it's a change in the team name for the new season, a change in player contracts, a transition from promotion to admission, or an increase in the number of games and a longer 3-point line in the new season, it shows the sincerity of the Basketball Association. Chen Xinglian's announcement on stage that the first draft conference will be held after the end of the January 2nd season has sparked media outrage. Fox website reporter raised his hand and smelled, how can Mr. Chen ensure that the abilities of draft players can meet the requirements of the CBA league? Chen Xinglian was already prepared and smiled at the reporter, explaining. The basketball management and CBA companies will gradually increase their investment in grassroots basketball, ensuring a 3-level league ecosystem from junior high school to university leagues. Through layers of screening, I believe that the player who appears in the draft will definitely be the one we want at this moment, another journalist from the sports newspaper also stood up to inquire. Can Chen always ensure the quality of the draft players in this draft? Chen Xing connected and said, the beginning of everything is difficult. We won't wait until everything is ready to hold the draft conference. In fact, it's already too late. I firmly believe that this draft can produce enough outstanding players. The reporters kept frantically interviewing, and Chen Xinglian answered one tricky question after another in an orderly manner. This press conference has come to a successful end. But the earthquake that will occur in the basketball industry afterwards will be huge. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Impact after the press conference. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Impact after the press conference. On an unknown online forum, a press conference about CBA's convening has attracted a lot of comments from netizens. However, during this period, due to not being exposed to the outside world for long, most people have a mentality that the moon in China is not as round as in foreign countries. So after the news about establishing the CBA League was first released, most netizens held a pessimistic attitude, and some even made extreme comments. Do we also have our own NBA League in China? What is the connection between CBA and NBA? Even if our product is a knockoff, now even the league has to knock off others, and Chinese people only know how to knock off. CBA League, it looks quite similar. Wait for it to take shape on the international stage. Haha. CBA is great. So I choose to continue watching the NBA. Is this general manager so young and capable? Don't be a playboy from any other company, hey. Fans will eventually be disappointed. The comments mainly focus on whether the league can succeed in questioning Chen Xinglian. But there are also a few positive and optimistic fans. They hold a supportive attitude towards this event. Studying the NBA League, I think it's pretty good. It shows that the basketball team realizes that our basketball level is far behind the world's advanced level. They are at least willing to try, but you will only be there to criticize. Can this also be black? I think some people's brains need to be washed up again. Chen is always a talented person who comes back from the NBA. Are those people upstairs questioning whether they are wearing glasses to read the news? No. They just don't have the brain to read the news. Upstairs, are you going to laugh me to death? Supporting league reform, we also need to have our own top-level league. Basket tube great. Not only on the internet, but also in reality, it has had a significant impact. Especially for existing league teams, whether they are A or B teams, although there have been rumors before. Now that rumors have been confirmed, it still makes them a bit incredulous. Players in the team are generally unwilling to accept this, believing that it is because there are more people competing for their jobs, and that an increase in the number of league matches will make them more tired. Can you teach these players who hold iron rice bowls how to be happy? However, this is the trend of the times. I won't wait for you because of your stagnation. The biggest headache for the team now is actually the coaching staff. After all, some rules of the league are constantly changing and approaching the NBA. This requires the coaching staff to adapt and adjust the team's training methods and tactics. The most obvious rule change is the expansion of the 3-point line and the use of the 3-second violation rule on the inner line. This has two main impacts. Firstly, it weakens the role of inner players on the field and enhances the proportion of attacking roles of outer players. Secondly, encourage offense, as it will be easier for the outside to attack the inside, which will help increase the viewing value of the league. In fact, before the introduction of these rules, both Chen Xinglian and the Basketball Association had concerns about whether they would not adapt to the international arena in the future. But in the end, Chen Xinglian still insisted on using the 3-second violation rule. In his view, the weakening of the United States team on the international stage in later generations was mainly due to the severe whistle play and decreased competitiveness in the league. Another thing is that a single-star singles tactic is no longer easy to conquer other countries. After all, you have NBA all-star level players, and so do I. And the people on the national team have been working together for a long time, and in terms of tacit understanding, it is not comparable to the US team. Speaking of body hair whistle, this is something that Chen Xinglian will not allow. This extreme reinforcement of attack will cause terrible damage to the league. Even the NBA has reduced its penalty calls in the future. This also indicates that the body hair whistle was a failed attempt. So in the end, Chen Xinglian decided to adopt the 3-second violation rule. As for the team's discomfort, it is not under the management of Chen Xinglian. The male dormitory building of Ludong Agricultural University. The public telephone in the convenience store is the main way for students to communicate with their families in this era. After all, not every family can afford a mobile phone. During the time after the Spring Festival, senior students began to feel a sense of separation and confusion about the future. As they are about to graduate, they are beginning to be troubled by various troubles. Lu Guang is also one of them. As a key player in the Ludong University team, he played diligently for the school for 4 years. And then Lu Guang was lost, looking at everyone looking for jobs, unsure whether he would start working hard like them or continue to pursue his basketball dream. Fighting for your dreams. But so far, no youth training team or professional team has taken a liking to me. My basketball dream is getting farther and farther away. Lu Guang's family conditions are not good, and his parents are both laid-off workers who can only set up stalls to make a living. He really doesn't want to trouble his parents anymore because of his personal ideals. Lu Guang called his parents before training. The other end of the phone was connected in no time. Is it Xiao Guang? Lu Guang's mother answered the phone. Mom, it's me. Xiao Guang, what's going on? The phone bill is so expensive, can't we talk about anything at home? No, I just wanted to tell you that I transferred the money over here and you should remember to go and collect it. What are you doing? Oh my God, keep this money for yourself. Your father and I can have enough money here. You are currently playing on the school team, so you need to keep up with your nutrition and be careful not to get hurt while playing. Lu Guang listened to his mother chattering there without showing any signs of annoyance. I won't say it anymore, the phone bill is too expensive. We know now. I'll save the money for you later so that I can get married in the future. Lu Guang blushed slightly when he heard it. The call with my mother ended in no time. After chatting, Lu Guang set off to the training center for routine training. As one of the strong teams in the Northeast region, Ludong Agricultural University has also entered the regional competition this year. In the previous match, I easily defeated the normal university in the same province with a score of 80.51. Entered the Northeast Division with excellent results. In this game, Lu Guang contributed a terrifying amount of 34 points, 16 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 blocks, and 1 steal. Lu Guang is a center forward on the field, but his role on the field can be described as omnipotent. At a height of 2 meters, he has no less flexibility than a small defender. This often allows him to run fast attacks throughout the game and bomb the opponent's penalty area. Combined with Lu Guang's efforts, he became the core of the team from the beginning of his junior year. The current national top 24 competition is still some time away, and the entire team is actively preparing for it. As for the goal, from the coach to the team members, there is only one belief. National Championship. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Shocking Talent. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Shocking Talent. Lu Guang walked into the training center and started warming up. He was the only one in the afternoon training center. After all, almost every training session was the earliest for Lu Guang. This also made his teammates joke that he was a desperate Mitsuro. Lu Guang also smiled every time without refuting. While warming up, the team coach walked in. Lu Guang stopped to greet the coach. At this moment, the coach walked towards Lu Guang with a smile on his face and enthusiasm. Xiao Guang, I knew you were here for training. I have something great to tell you. This also aroused Lu Guang's curiosity. What could be happy about his own coach? At this moment, the coach spread out the rolled-up newspaper in his hand towards Lu Guang. Lu Guang looked at the title on that page. It seems that the Basketball Association has established the CBA company. Although this matter is quite significant, what is there to make the coach happy about? The coach smiled and said, "Look down at that subtitle again." Lu Guang followed the coach's instructions and saw a headline that read, "In order to comprehensively promote the development of basketball, CBA announced that it will hold a draft conference this year." Lu Guang has already paused for the draft. The NBA draft. Lu Guang looked at the coach in surprise. The coach corrected him, "Wrong, it's the CBA draft." Lu Guang, do you understand? This is your last chance. You must seize it this time. The CBA draft is mainly aimed at college players. I heard that CBA teams and media are starting to pay attention to college players and increase the exposure of Cuba. You are the most talented student I have ever seen, and also the closest to the CBA in the team. You must perform well in this knockout match at this moment. Lu Guang's mind was already buzzing, and he couldn't hear what the coach was saying clearly. After he recovers, he understands that this is his most important opportunity. In the afternoon, the Shandong Agricultural University team held a routine internal competition. The little guard used cover to break through the penalty area with the ball. Faced with the opposing center's defense, he panicked and threw the ball out. Outside the basketball pop-up box. Just as everyone thought this attack was a waste, a figure wearing a white jersey number 8 appeared. Box. Pressing down on the defensive player, he grabbed the basketball with his big hand and pushed it back to the basket. It caused both on and off the field to exclaim in surprise. It was Lu Guang himself who succeeded in making up the deduction. To be honest, it is truly outrageous that Lu Guang's talent has not been discovered. The coach is fortunate to have met Lu Guang. At that time, young Lu Guang was still in the sports school echelon in Longxi and could not be promoted. Later, the coach personally invited him back to Shandong Agricultural University. When the coach recalled, there was also intense competition on the field. After a pick and roll between the red point guard and the center forward, the point guard passed the ball to the center forward's hand. The center forward player received the ball and headed towards the inside line against Lu Guang. But without 2 steps, Lu Guang couldn't enter. His strength was immense, like a mountain blocking his opponent and the basket. The red center saw this and wanted to pass the basketball outside. But the route has been blocked by other players, and in the end, we can only choose to go hard. I used a small hook in an attempt to evade Lu Guang's cover. Bang! The basketball was neatly fanned out. Lu Guang's incredible jumping height startled the red center forward, but as a long-time teammate, he could only reluctantly smile. Is talent really so much different? The white point guard picked up the ball and didn't immediately start it. He just habitually threw the ball forward. Lu Guang did not stop in place after just completing a block, but quickly start and run towards that basketball. With a strong forward shot, I quickly entered the half court, and the distance between the defensive players behind me increased. Lu Guang was in a good mood today and couldn't suppress his desire to perform. He rushed into the penalty area and double-crossed his hands, scoring 2 points. A rare physical talent among Asians, being able to achieve a height of over 2 meters with such good coordination, Xiaoguang's future limit may not be limited to CBA. The players off the field were startled when they heard their coach's murmurs. Where else can I go beyond CBA? NBA? No one dares to imagine. But it cannot be denied that Lu Guang's talent is much higher than theirs. After several offensive and defensive transitions, we reached the white court. Lu Guang leaned against the opponent's defense and demanded the ball from the point guard. The point guard casually passed the ball over. Lu Guang quickly grabbed the ball with both hands and placed it behind him to prevent the opponent from pulling the ball. After stabilizing, Lu Guang vigorously exploded the ball and kept sitting towards the basket, making it clear that the center of the red team could not withstand Lu Guang's back hit. At this moment, another inside player came to assist in defense, intending to trap Lu Guang. Lu Guang felt the opponent's cooperation in defense, so he lowered his shoulders and gave the center forward a confrontation. When the opponent is a bit stumbling and continues to defend, Lu Guang quickly turned around and raised his hand to interfere with the two players, taking a jump shot. With a swish, the basketball hollow enters the net. This is where Lu Guang is truly terrifying. Not only is his talent amazing, but he also has a good backhand jump shot in terms of technique. Rather than saying that Lu Guang is the center of the team, in fact, he can only be called a center when defending the opponent's center or grabbing rebounds. Coach Lu Guang discovered Lu Guang's talent during his training and immediately guided him towards a template. That's Michael Jordan. Michael, there is me everywhere. Jordan can be said to be the most influential player of this period, and Chinese fans at that time were watching Jordan play. Naturally, there were people constantly delving into Jordan's skills. Obviously, Lu Guang's physical talent is very suitable for Jordan's skills. After years of forging, it can be said that the furnace has become perfect. On the field, Lu Guang not only made the opponent suffer in attack, but also held on to their throat in defense. Large-scale cooperative defense, fast-moving footsteps. Allowing him to not stay in the penalty area like a center forward, and within the three-point line, it can be said that he has his own territory. After the last game, 50.21. Lu Guang felt that he had not fully enjoyed himself yet. I have to stay for a group of shooting exercises and then go out to work. The coach looked at Lu Guang's condition and believed that there would definitely be some gains in this national competition. End of this chapter.